Hey guys, today me and Audrey-Anne are going to talk to you about some art collection that has been stolen in Africa by the European countries during the colonization period. But first, I'm going to talk to you about the colonization in Africa by the European countries. Between the 1870s and 1900s, Africa is facing European imperialist aggression, diplomatic pressures, military invasions, and of course, African countries are trying to resist these attempts, but although by the beginning of the 20th century, much of Africa has been colonized by European powers. The European imperialist push into Africa was motivated by three main factors: economics, politics, and social. It developed in the 19th century following the collapse of the profitability of the slave trade. The imperatives of capitalist industrialization included the demand of assured sources of raw materials, the search for guaranteed markets and profitable investment or outlets, all led the Europeans to eventually conquer Africa. The political impetus derived from the impact of their inter-European power struggles and competition for prominence. Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Portugal, and Spain were competing for power within European powers politics. So one way to demonstrate national preeminence was through the acquisition of territories around the world / Africa. Okay, so now that I've put you in context with African colonization, I'm going to talk to you more specifically about a situation that occurred recently but was created by this period of time. A report was made by the French historian Bénédicte Savoy and the Senegalese economist Felwine Sarr, in which was asked the exportation of every African property and art back in African museum. The problem is that the art collection that we see in a French museum is probably all stolen during this period of time. The objective of the report created by these two researchers was to put strong pressure on museums throughout Europe to review their policies, because we suspect that a lot of other countries may have African goods. In their study, they argue that the complete transfer of property back to Africa and not the long-term loan of objects to African museums should be the rule for works that were taken in the colonial period. As expected, the Culture Ministry and the museums are opposing themselves. Museums are scared or fear the emptying of many institutions. In November 2017, President Macron pledged that the return of African heritage to the continent would be an absolute priority. The following March, he asked Savoy and Sarr to propose a set of concrete action. So, there we are.
My part will be about the present situation of the restitution, how it came to that, and how it affects other European countries in a positive way. 26 bronze artifacts taken from Benin will be returned from France to their country of origin. France is beginning with objects from Benin because, to date, it is the only country from which France has received a formal request. But the objects are among some 90,000 artworks from sub-Saharan Africa in the French public collection, including nearly 70,000 in the Quai Branly-Jacques Chirac Museum alone. The restitution is not an easy task. In fact, a demand of the repatriation of the pieces from Benin was previously made and refused by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jean-Marc Ayrault, because of the unalienability of the French museum collection. Benin will now be offered the access to the 26 objects on a temporary basis, while officials studies how to implement the restitution into French law. Felicity Bodenstein, a historian of ethnographic collection in Berlin's Technical University, is optimistic about this change. Germany will certainly follow suit, said Bodenstein. Decisions are made differently in these countries, so the timing and form of the restitution are will not be the same. My opinion about this situation is that both of colonizer and colonized country should have a part of those artifacts. I think that the colonized country like Benin will have a much important part of it because it was the first owner, it belongs to them, and it's in their culture. But I think also that now that the colonizer has them, it's part of their history, whether or not it's a good thing, because they looted it, so it was not a good thing to do. But now it's part of their history, and it's an important collection for them.